From Hollywood to Washington, the MeToo movement has resulted in the downfall of a growing list of rich, famous, and powerful men. The campaign aims to expose sexual assault and let victims know they are not alone. ABC 7's Bobeth Yates tells us MeToo may even change the way society thinks. Bobeth?
Well, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, the majority of rape and sexual assaults are not reported. In fact, it's said that less than 36% of the violations are reported to police. But the Me Too campaign has started a shift, and more people are coming forward about their experiences.
His hands were all over me. He started encroaching on my space. He was like an octopus. It was like he had 6 arms.
Jessica Leeds was among the first, sharing her story with the New York Times of alleged unwanted sexual advances that occurred years ago from Donald Trump. And while the accusations have been denied, others like Ashley Judd used Leeds' openness as inspiration to come forward with their own experiences of misogynistic behavior. In October, Judd went on record about Harvey Weinstein, and social media listened. Then actress Alyssa Milano encouraged people to denounce sexual assault and harassment by using the MeToo hashtag, and it went viral. Since October, hashtag MeToo has been used more than 1 million times. Jessica Hayes from Spark, the Safe Place and Rape Crisis Center, says the campaign is helping to give victims of sexual assault the encouragement they need to come forward.
Most sexual assaults are by someone that's known to the victim. It's not usually a stranger, although it can be. And they're afraid of, will someone believe me? What will the impact be on my life? Will it be worth it to say something? Will anything come from this?
Hayes says the Me Too campaign helps to diminish the fear of those unanswered questions and lets the victim know that they are not alone.
By more people talking about it and more of it coming to light, that it has reduced the fear, it reduces the stigma a little bit. I think that there's still, it takes a lot of courage to tell even one person, much less the country in some of these cases.
Since the launch of Me Too, the accusations have been widespread, from the entertainment industry to politics, with President Trump, Senator Al Franken, and Senate candidate Roy Moore being among the most polarizing cases. But while many are applauding victims for coming forward, Sarasota Republican Club President Rod Thompson says it's important to not overreact.
While this overall might be a good thing, good things very often get abused at some point. And if we're living in an era where a single unfounded, unconfirmable accusation can ruin a person's career, can tank their family life, and can just wreak all sorts of destruction without there being any sort of, if not due process, at least some sort of corroborating evidence, then I think we're in a very dangerous spot.
Thompson says while it's important to expose inappropriate actions, it's also important to vet the accusations prior to formulating an opinion.
If you did not do what you're accused of, but it's now out there in the public and everybody's looking at you a little differently, how do you go about restoring your reputation? Because that means just one accusation and a life is ruined. And that seems to be a moment that's going to be ripe for abuse.
The very issue has come to light as longtime PBS talk show host Tavis Smiley has come out defending accusations of sexual misconduct made against him.
I, again, have never groped, coerced, exposed myself to anyone.
PBS suspended Smiley's show for what it refers to as troubling accusations that Smiley engaged in sexual relationships with multiple subordinates. And even though Smiley adamantly denies the accusations, PBS has stood by its decision. Still, the corporation has agreed to continue investigating the matter. But Smiley says the damage to his career and reputation has already been done.
The sin that I've committed, the great sin, is to have over 30 years a handful of consensual relationships. And if that's the crime, if we're going to start criminalizing people for having legitimate relationships as consenting adults, if that's the crime, then let's just say that.
To avoid similar cases, Thomas says the handling of these accusations need to be changed.
So that we can't have, as the stance, automatic belief that it happened. I think that where we start with is she has to be listened to and taken seriously. But believing her was going to require either a very convincing story on her part, explanation, or corroborating evidence.
But Hayes says that mindset would only hurt the victims.
Anytime that we doubt a survivor and what they're saying, it absolutely perpetuates, it allows perpetrators to continue to get by with these things, because we're continuing to brush it aside or to doubt that that behavior is existing. So it's concerning.
Now, Hayes says it's important to remember that claims of sexual harassment and assault are not just a women's issue, but a people issue. And everyone has a responsibility to say something if they see something.
Well, Beth, thank you.